Hey guys, we're back home, back out in the shop. Out here just looking at the car again. Uh, we got her pretty good Saturday night. You watched the last video, you would have seen we got into our buddy Jason Neal. Just one of those freak racing accidents of, really not much you can do about it, especially at this point. I know he took a pretty good number of damage, and I haven't tore all the way in. I know I'm going to replace some of my T-bar going across on, pretty much might as well just replace all my T-bar going across for the decking. It's pretty well mangled. I don't, like I said, without digging too deep into it at the moment, I don't know all the damage. We got a lot of sheet metal damage we got to fix here, obviously. Rear end is popped back. I don't know if it just sheared the bolt off from the leaf spring that holds the rear end in place or what happened there yet. I know I got a broken shock. The rocker panel's been in a little bit, I know that much. So we're going to have to dig into it and see what we got going on. I didn't think we got as far forward, hit as far forward on the car as we did, but on the front fender there, we got a minor tear. We got some patching and beating to do, but luckily it's aluminum, not steel, so it's a little easier to straighten back out. I don't think we're going to have to replace any of the deck panel. A lot of it just bent over. It looks pretty easy to fix, so like I said, it's just a racing deal, and not much you can really do at it, especially at this point. So the only thing we can do is fix it and move forward. So we're going to get started here. Well, so far we got the body panels off and the outer section of decking off. Kind of at a point right now. You can see, get in here a little closer, you can see the T-bar is pretty much done for. Structurally, my bubblegum welds on this here piece here actually held up. That bar got broke off last year, and I just kind of bubble gummed it back together, and it held up with no issues. You can see this bar is bent that way, or bent in towards the back. Kind of hard to see, but I don't know how to really get it in there to show you, but the firewall is shoved up against this bar. The hole shouldn't be up against the bar like it is, but I do have an issue that I am going to have to call and talk to people that specialize in collision repair to get an idea on if it's even going to be fixable. So don't hold me to it, but this might be the demise of the old leafer. The rocker panel has been in, obviously. I've mentioned that before. But we got an issue right here. This is the front part of the spring hanger for the leaf springs, and it should be mounted up in there. Get the camera right, but as you can see, it's no longer mounted, and it actually ripped out of the where it was mounted into the metal. So I'm going to have to make a few phone calls, some people that might know a little more about it than me, and see about what it's going to take to fix that, if it's even fixable. At the moment, I don't want to go too much further into tearing it apart until I know more about the situation with that. The leaf spring is put, or the rear end is actually pushed back. Kind of hard to see, but right here is where this block right here, get my finger out of the way. This block here should be, the front edge should be like, I think looks like a good 1.5 inches further forward as it is. So then of course got a switch hands here. We got a broken shock right here. I only broke it, bent, got into the fuel cell a little bit. It bent. Looking at it, it actually bent. Let me get you in here again. It's bent all the way up to the top. The whole housing and everything. I've never seen that yet, but yeah, that's just an early damage report right now. That spring hanger, that's something I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna have to call somebody and see. So we got other places to go at the moment, so we'll be back with you. Fast trip, went and got 2 new steer tires for old Snowball over at Baker Repair. Wasn't busy today, so we got in there about 11:30 and out of there by 12:30 or so. So wasn't too bad. Talked to a few people, and they were telling me that on this spring hanger down here, wherever I'm pointing at, I don't know where I'm going. I should be able to just put it back up into place and weld it in. So we're probably going to get started on that here in a second. Got me some Fritos. Already had me a piece of pizza from the truck stop, but we're going to get started working on getting this thing finished, tearing it down, and get it rolling again. And then I need to pull it outside. I got a good chunk of mud built up inside the car right now, so dirt really. So I'm probably going to pull it outside. The rocker panel, at the moment, I'm not going to worry about fixing it. So push come to shove, I'll probably end up cutting it off, putting a piece of square tubing or something over there. But for right now, we're just going to leave that alone. I don't think it's really affecting anything structurally, so be back with you here shortly. Okay, so we got the old leaf spring out of that side. Leaf spring looks okay. It did break this pin off. Like I say, it's just a bolt goes up through the leaf springs. Broke it off. This is the spring hanger that got ripped out. It's bent pretty good. I'm going to have to go in and order one of these, and of course this is the bottom mounting plate for the U-bolts and the shock bracket. I got more of them hanging up on the back there. I actually bought them last year and was going to put them on and decided it wasn't needed, so they're still hanging up back there. And for anybody looking, I got a slightly used shock here. Take $50 for it. Custom made for tight places. You can put your own end on it. So $50 is a good deal on a used shock. So yeah, that's it. We like I said, we got it tore apart. I'm going to have to go and get some metal probably tomorrow for the T-post and finish taking the decking off so I can replace all that fun stuff. Other than that, bent this wheel. It's been in on the lip here. Still holding there. The one on the front didn't get bent and it went flat, so I guess that's the way to go. Tire's still good, so I guess we'll take it off and figure something else out for it. But the rim itself is bent. The bead lock's a little chewed up, but not bad. So we need to go inside and kind of figure out where we're at, what we need for parts. I got shocks laying around somewhere around here. I think they're in on the other side that I've had for a while. So that's just a little update as far as where we're at right now. We made a trip. We hooked up the big trailer and went and got some metal so we can make repairs on the car. We ordered parts to fix the rear leaf spring bracket, the mounting bracket. I don't know when they'll be here, but it should be here by the weekend. So we're going to finish getting the rest of the decking off so we can start on this T-bar here. Just going to replace all of it for the most part. The back is broke off, the middle's broke off, and the front's bent back, so the best way to do it is just to replace it and be done with it. So we'll be back with you once we get her down naked. Okay, well, we've cut some of our square tubing down. It's a little bit thicker and a little bit, well, thickness wise, it is thicker and it's actually a little wider, however you want to put that. The old stuff was 3/4, I believe, and this is 1 inch. A little bit thicker wall, so hopefully we don't get in a situation where we do damage to other people's cars. But in the same sense, we don't want to do as much damage to our own car either. So, so we're going a little bit thicker, a little bit bigger. The thinner stuff, when you're trying to drill it out to get pop rivets in it, I miss it half the time on the skinny stuff. So a little bit thicker just kind of, or a little bit wider, just kind of helps me out. Dang old wasp are trying to get in here on the video. So we're gonna kind of get this tack welded into place, but we got the front ready. We still got to cut the back sections out, but we didn't take the decking completely out. I'm not very good at bending and folding. I'm 200 pounds, 6 foot tall. Bending up in some of these tight spots, like down in that little hole there and everything else, to pop rivets out and put them back in, just ain't gonna happen. So we're working with what we got here. We're gonna make it work. So we'll be with you shortly. So we have the front T-bar done, and what we done was added a little piece of bracing. Get my finger to work right. I think the camera does like a mirror thing or something, I don't know. We got this right here. We added that in there because there was no real support here on the firewall. You know, when the car is complete, you know, you got the roof and everything else matches up into the firewall, and there's support there, but the firewall basically there for looks. You know, we still got stock floor paint in the car and all that, so really the firewall is just there for looks, but it didn't have any support to it, so I added a bar like this on the other side too to give it a little more support. We painted up the bar and all that. Still got to do the back too. This part here is always short on both sides, so we're not going to worry about that one, but we do need to replace this one and that one there. So we'll let you see it when we get it all done here. We're kind of chugging away. It got hot out here and I had to go inside and take a little break, but we're still cutting at it, so bear with us. So while you guys were napping, we got the back two sections of T-bar on. Letting the paint dry. I just painted it with some Rust-Oleum 2 times the coverage. Real quick, cheap way of painting. I used to swear by the 97-cent cans of spray paint from Walmart, but for what you get out of that versus the Rust-Oleum, it pays for itself. So we're letting the paint dry. We got our decking bungeed up here on both sides, but trying to let the paint dry before we set it down. I need to make me, there's a hole there on the front side of the driver's side door here, where the opening is here for the pedals. I need something I overlooked and was really stupid of me, was I didn't put nothing over that hole. There was a piece of aluminum that went over it, and I didn't put nothing back over it when I took it all apart. Really just kind of overlooked it, my part, and like I said, it's stupid of me to do that. It came in handy tonight that my brake locked up on the left front. I could actually see the wheel. But the following week, when we finished the 6th, the track had a lot of mud in it, and I was getting pelted in the knee with mud. It's a piece of aluminum's not going to stop nothing major. That's why I put steel on over the door itself, over where I'm sitting at. Like I said, aluminum ain't going to stop much, but it will kind of help stop debris from coming up into the car. If somebody was to hit me there, it wouldn't do much. But in the same sense, you can see where my pedals are. My pedals are just shy of the steel plate. So I'm pretty well protected. I'm comfortable with what I have here. But like I said, it's more or less to keep something big from coming up into the car, rock or something. I will say, get this in here, this little belt down here, I call it the nut crusher. And there's a reason for it, because when I flipped my mini stock, my legs kicked forward and it just absolutely annihilated my manhood, I should say. Keep a child rated. I don't want to see what a rock going, I don't know, say we were running 70 mile an hour around the track, gets kicked up, multiplies its speed. I don't want to see how hard that rock hitting me down below is going to hurt. So we're going to put something there to cover that hole up before we put the body back on. So that's what we got going on at the moment. Alright, well, we made it back out here in the shop, and we went ahead and put me a piece of aluminum right there. I had a big decent sized sheet of white aluminum that just wasn't being used at the moment. More or less just scrap aluminum, stuff I used to cut little pieces out of. As you can see, we got it all down there. We got to go through and repair a big old pile of metal right here to get it to fit back on here. Now the thing is, all that damage right there has been done in the past. Right now, we're in the now. We're going to fix that, not necessarily right at this moment, but we're in the process of fixing damage that has been done to the car now. So in the future, not only can the car look better, but hopefully perform a little better along with it. And really, but what I'm trying to say here, right now we got a lot of people fighting back and forth through our country, really across the world, over things that happened before most of us were even alive today. That being said, you can't hold the past and live off of what happened in the past and expect the future to get better. What you got to do is learn from the past, fix it in the now. That way your future's better. Just a little bit of advice. Some of my followers on here suggested maybe I'll just give a little word of advice here and there, because obviously some of these younger folks that watch my channel, view me as an old timer and someone of advice. I ain't that old, but I appreciate them looking to try to get advice from me. And like I said, things in the past, if you live off of what's going on with that, you know, your future's going to be harder to get going. You got to plan for the future, prepare for the future. That's about all I can say on it. So I figure one of the best ways to start our repairs is to start fixing the decking. You can't see the car right now because you're sitting on the decking, but we got a big old pile of decking back behind us, along with some of the right side body panels. I need to get the decking back in place before I can put the body panels on, so we're going to start repairing that. We're still waiting on the parts to get here for the rear end. Hopefully it gets in this week, so we got plenty of time to get our leaf spring back into place, everything mounted up on there, and not rushing through Friday night to try to get the car ready for the 11th. 11th is our fan appreciation night at Farmington. It is, I think it's $5 to get in, and last I heard, I think it's 250 people already paid for to get in by various different drivers and teams and things like that. So that's our goal, is to have the car ready to go and race that night. At the minimum, we want it to be able to at least drive out on the track for intermission. You know, I wouldn't want to go to the track and not race, so we're wanting it to be race ready. Mechanically, other than putting the drive shaft back in, we're going to put some fluid in the transmission because it leaked a lot out because of the way the drive shaft come out. But mechanically, the car is ready to go. Like I said, we got to get the leaf spring in there. So first, we're going to start with beating out some of this decking so we can get it back up here where you guys are sitting. So as you can see, we got one panel straightened out, put back on the car. Ain't too bad. We got one panel just about done, but it's about 100 degrees out here, so we're going to run inside and cool off for a bit and see, so we can come back out and get done here in a little while. Well, folks, I think we're going to wrap up our shop time for this week. We got most of the decking pretty well straightened out. You can still see some dents in it and stuff. It's just hot out here. It's probably, my thermometer on my air conditioner says it's still 80, in the upper 80s in here, even though I got air moving around, and outside it's even hotter. We're gonna go in. It's about supper time either way. Like I said, we're in the process of repairing damage. It's going to be in the past, and it ain't going to get rid of it, of what's already happened. But, you know, when it's all said and done with, we're going to move forward and continue our season. And something else I got to throw in here is, you know, I could look at the negative section that, you know, my good-looking body got all tore up, but, hey, the positive side, I don't have to worry about tearing it up now. We can run it. So we're going to scoot on into the house here, and we'll finish up everything next weekend. Majority, like I said, the majority of the decking's popped back together. We just got to tie it down to the T-bar, and we got to go trucking this week, like usual. We're going in the house. God bless you guys. We'll catch you later.